Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VI SBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VI SBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VI SBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, the VI SBDC is hosting Building a Resilient Enterprise Disaster Preparedness for USVI Small Businesses. I'm going to go ahead and ask Ms. Patricia Swan to go ahead and share her screen. So, here in the US Virgin Islands, we know firsthand that living in paradise comes with unique challenges. But when it comes to running a business, disaster preparedness isn't just a safety measure or a checkbox for hurricane season. It is a core business strategy. It's about protecting your hard work, your employees, and your livelihood. Today, we are focusing on how to safeguard your operations so that when the unexpected happens, your business doesn't just survive, it stays standing. My name is Sharika Industrious Phillips, and I am the Network Marketing Coordinator here at the VISBDC. To help us navigate this, I'm honored to introduce our presenter for today, Ms. Patricia Swan. Ms. Patricia Swan serves as a Community Disaster Program Manager with the American Red Cross in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Based in St. Thomas, Patricia leads critical preparedness, response, and recovery efforts that support our communities before, during, and after disasters. She works with government agencies, nonprofits, and local partners to strengthen resilience across the territory with a strong focus on supporting vulnerable populations and small businesses. Through hands on training and outreach, she helps organizations build continuity plans and bounce back stronger after emergencies. Patricia is passionate about empowering our community through education, collaboration, and compassionate service. Here's a friendly reminder to place your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed later by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of today's presentation will be attached to the post-survey email sent after this live session. We encourage you to take a few minutes of your time to briefly fill out the survey that lets us know how we are doing. This data is essential to us rendering these deliverables complimentary to you. So without further ado, Ms. Swan, the floor is yours.
Sorry, everyone. I had to unmute myself there. Good morning. I'm Patricia Swan. So happy to be here with you this morning to talk about one of my favorite topics, disaster preparedness. I know many of you are familiar with the Red Cross, but probably from a perspective of Red Cross coming out during a disaster. What you may not know that one of the really important pillars of the Red Cross is preparedness. So we prepare the community and ourselves, we respond when there's a disaster, and then we help in the recovery. So we feel particularly um, well versed in helping the community to be resilient. And as a native Virgin Islander who have gone through Irma and Maria and Hugo, I am passionate about ensuring that we are prepared. And you, the local businesses, regardless of what size of an organization you have, is important to the development of the Virgin Islands, our island community. Helping the community bounce back, one of the first things that government and leaders look at is how are our business doing. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for this opportunity, this platform. So we'll start with the Ready Rating program. It is specifically for small businesses, nonprofit organization, churches. And the first question I have for anyone when we talk about being prepared for natural disasters is how prepared are you really? Have you done some reflection in what you need? Have you thought carefully about the people that are supporting your business, your inventory? Have you looked at your insurance to make sure that you are ready? What happens if your business is without electricity or connectivity for more than 4 weeks? Are you really prepared to deal with those issues? And so the truth is, unfortunately, that disasters have become more frequent and their impact is devastating. And if you look at the screen, you'll see some of the numbers. It's really staggering. So between 2011 and 2020, 1 in 4 individuals in the US, that's continental US and territories, were affected by a disaster. And with the frequency of those disasters that are happening since that time, I am sure that when the data is shared that it will be higher. In 2021, 40% live in a county, an island, impacted by extreme weather. And you only have to look at the news and you see that reporting almost every week there is something. Recently was the tsunami, earthquake and tsunami, but there are so many fires, and the one that no one thinks of until it happens to them sometimes is home fires. So I'm here to help you by sharing information about one of our impactful programs to help you and your business. Here's some more data for you because we're all about the research. 68% of small businesses do not have a disaster plan. And they would admit that if they were to experience a disaster, that it would take them a long time, more than 3 months, to recover in any fashion. And then 25 of them, you see that never return back to operating their business. We're a small community. Your business matters to us. It matters especially in our recovery. And we want you to be successful. You are a part of our community. And so you need a plan. Let's help you figure that out. So, why prepare? It really shows that you're committed to your business. You have done all of the hard work in figuring out how to start the business, how to come up with a business plan, how to get folks to invest in your business, how to market it. Included in that is how to sustain it in situations that are outside of your control. The more you plan, the more you practice, the better you would be at bouncing back after any disaster. So let's talk about ways that you can do that through our Ready Rating program. As with every program with the Red Cross, it's free. There's no cost to you. There's no cost to your organization. This program is all online. You do it at your own pace. And again, it could be for the very first beginning small business to a business that has about 10,000 to 50,000 members. It gives you feedback based on the information, the answers to the questions that you provide. So you're not getting a plan, you're not getting an action list of things that are not specific to you. It's very customized for you. So again, Red Cross, always grounded in research. It helps you make those preparedness measures, and you can have goals for every quarter, every 6 months, for every year. And then they don't just say, here's the report of where you are. Here's some tools for you to be successful. And let me tell you, they include templates, they include job descriptions for a committee, they include videos that you can share during a meeting with your team, with your investors. It's really a full service program, again, free to anyone who wants to start a business. And here is what our members are saying. So 75 have updated their plan. So you update it every year or as frequent as you need. 70% have educated their employees. So they use those videos to prepare their team, to get the information out to their employees, their staff. And it's increased their preparedness. And guess what? It looks really good when you're trying to get investors or a business plan or a loan, that you have an emergency plan ready. So, who are our members? Like I said, it's for many types of businesses. So, we have commercial businesses, nonprofits, schools, small schools, and we know we have a couple of small private colloquial um, schools, house of worships, any type of house of worship, healthcare organizations, teams. So it runs the gamut of all types of organizations that are part of our membership. So, what are the benefits? It's very easy, and you take a few minutes. You have options to become a member, to go through the process. And for many folks, they think, oh, this is going to be a burden. It's going to be a lot of work. We try to and have been successful in making this process easier for you. What we really want is for you to begin to plan, to be prepared, to be ready. So you are in control. You start in whatever program you want to do, and there's two options based on the size of your organization or where you are in your preparedness plan, and it helps you measure and track, and you can then download that information immediately into PowerPoint presentations for your employees or your donors or investors, or even family members, right? So that if you are a two-man shop, that you have a network of family and friends and staff, that you begin to train them as well in what's going on, what you're doing for your business. So, additional benefits, you have access to our resource center. I mentioned the videos, templates, PowerPoint presentations in any aspect. It's just really well done. Member newsletters, you get 10% off in the store to get things if you want for your business. Again, all about being prepared and protecting your investment. And then you get a seal by the American Red Cross, that shows that you are a Ready Rating member. So how does it work? Well, there's 5 steps as you see on the screen. You participate in doing the assessment. So it's an assessment of your business. They give you a report. So then you do the emergency planning section. It looks at your facility, your equipment, your inventory. Then providing training and exercise, because yes, you know you have a plan, but did you practice the plan? And in the instance of an emergency, the way that you practice something is the way that you're going to really react. So you want to practice as well. And then who are your network, and tapping into other resources to ensure that you're successful. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a two-man shop or you have 10,000 employees or 5,000 employees. It's done specifically for your business based on your responses to the questions. So there's two types of assessment I mentioned. Ready Go is really for folks who are just starting off, small businesses, have never really considered an emergency plan. And so you answer the 20 questions. It gives you an assessment of where you are. It only takes 15 to 30 minutes to do it. And then it gives you a report. Now, the Ready Advanced, this is for organizations that are a little bit larger or have done planning already. They have something in place and it gives them a report as well. As you see there, less than an hour, wink wink, 45 to 50 minutes based on the information that you provide to the system. Now this is what it looks like after you've done the assessment. You see here on the screen, this is a snapshot of Ready Rating. Your participation, it gives you, a mark when you've done that. You're on to which step you're on to. So here the assessment score was a 78. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, if I got a 78, that was like I didn't learn anything. So when I look at this, like, oh, but there's no shame, there's no judgment. You start where you are and you build based on your ability. Just start it and do it in practice, right? So this person got a 78. They had 125 out of the 160 possible. It tells them when the report was done, and then gives them a really complete assessment. At the bottom here for the participation, you will notice that there are four things listed. And in number one, the safety of our staff and client is our top priority. And they said yes. So there's a video, you see the video clip there that then can show to the group about what that means, what that looks like, and what that sounds like, how they can help their team to really make sure their staff is in fact, a priority. So they've answered yes to the second, no to the third. We have communicated information about our plan to all members of our organization. It's very important that you do the assessment, you get the information, but then when you create your plan, that you share it to everyone. Again, if you have a network, great. Not just your employees, not just yourself, but those who have invested financially or otherwise in your business. And so the next step report, it measures where you are in your level of preparedness. No shame, no judgment. Recommends what you should do after, and then give you the tools to make sure that you're successful. So you decide when you want to start, when you want to continue. It's really great to have quarterly preparedness goals if you are really determined to be prepared and to ensure the safety of your investment and your staff. Quarterly is great every 6 months, but we really strongly recommend that you have quarterly goals, just like you would for any other part of your business. So here is what the executive summary looks like. This is the next step report. You'll see here that it's broken down in three sections: the summary dashboard, the next steps, and comments. And then it tells you what the rankings are. So giving you a comprehensive list of things that are being considered, how you got the score, and how you can fix the score, right? The next screen we have here is a specific example. So this company has indicated that they have no emergency plan. You see the question number 5, we have an emergency response planning committee. Don't have a committee. It tells them what the step is, who to consider, but then gives them the resource of creating a committee. And then the part that I love that it then takes it further, it also have a job description and responsibility for each of the individuals that you would want on your team. So you don't have to think about, well, what do I need to add? Who is to be considered? What areas should I focus? Based on the questions, based on your responses, based on your need, it gives you these resources. So it takes it another step further for you, making it so much easier. Again, the emergency action plan is what you're aiming for afterwards, right? It gives you many templates based on your organization. So you see here on the screen, standard topics meets OSHA standards. If you do the EAP Go template, if you are a larger company and have somewhat of a plan, you will go into the advanced template, or maybe you want to move up to the advanced template, then there are additional topics that you can consider for your emergency plan. And the best part, it exceeds OSHA standards. So you can take these templates, fix them for your organization, and then put them in a PowerPoint presentation or print out for your staff or your investors, your team. And this is the template generator. You'll notice on the left-hand side, it tells you what it is. There's some information for you to say, do I want to add this? Do I want to omit it? You'll see, for example, leaving the facility during an evacuation. And that is specifically for like a home fire or an earthquake and tsunami, right? So they decided they wanted to include it. Here you see on the right-hand side a list of things to consider for everyone to leave safely. Do not stop to retrieve items such as laptops or pocketbooks. You know how we are, ladies. We probably want to grab that because our identification. But it gives you, and you can tweak it, but it gives you a list of things that you can create in your plan and have a checklist that can be in the office, to create the exit checklist when something happens. And then you practice the drills and follow through to make sure everyone is on the same team, same plan. So here's the information about the dashboard. Again, it's just about what you need to do as your upcoming current actions, what your score was, and then helps you as you do things to you see where your score increases. For me as a competitive person, that would be like, I want to get to an 80 and an 85, but we would love for you to get to 100. Of course, does it take time? Yes. Does it take an investment of your time? Yes. But you get all of the things to help you to be successful. And here you see on the right-hand side, it will give you a check mark when you go up to your dashboard that you've done these things, and you can see where you are and easily share that information with others. So here is a snapshot. Welcome to your dashboard. This is Tom Tess. His company, he's the manager for the Ready Reagan because you can then have different locations for businesses included. Say, for example, you had a boutique store in downtown, or you had one further out, that those two can be given a separate section in your account. So here is his assessment score, and the how you compare, meaning how do you compare to others who are also the same type of business, being type of business, size, and where you are in your planning. So it really gives you an idea, how am I doing realistically to other small businesses like my own? And so it contains actionable resources. Like I mentioned, the videos, very well done. Checklists, just print it off and you're good. Put your logo on it. They make it so it's easy for you to do this. And then the presentation decks. So you don't have to try and think about what to put. These presentations are already done for you. Here is what it looks like on the Resource Center. And you see lots of information, but it's broken down in the main process, the categories, right? Participation, emergency planning, facilities, and so on. And further on the right-hand side, each of the main areas. Let's take a look at participation. So it's the emergency action plan assessment, the brochure, so you can share, the videos, and then preparedness, right? So why this is beneficial. So if you wanted to pitch this to why you joined Ready Rating and you want to pitch it to your board, then you have resources to do that. Emergency planning, and then you can ask it to give you information about other things like active shooter. You know, you may want to do that for your, especially if you're in a downtown area. And while in the Virgin Islands, we have not, we've been fortunate not to have to worry about active shooter. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. So we don't wait until something happens to then figure out how to prevent it or prepare for it in the future. We do it beforehand. So you can do that as part of your goal for the year. And here are the videos. Now, um, I say this and I probably should get slapped on the hand, but they look very serious, don't they? If I was looking at this, I'd be like, man, they're pretty serious. They're like drill sergeants, and I would feel pressured to do it. But they are experts in the field. Red Cross did its research. They're experts in the field that are giving you tips and supporting you in your journey to being resilient. And here, depending on the organization, you can have yourself as a manager. And then because you have multiple locations, you have different sites that are included into. So again, from the smallest organization to the largest organization, that you have the ability to get started, that we've made it easier for you. So what's next? Then after you begin, you update regularly your Ready Go or your Ready Advanced assessment. So then your tools, and we've done the updating on that to make it a lot more comprehensive. We've also included information about wildfire preparedness because that's become increasingly incidents of disasters in the continental US, and we don't get them in the Virgin Islands. But again, does not mean that we shouldn't be prepared because you may actually go elsewhere and will need information about that. So, better security for your information inside of the program. So, making sure that no one has access to your information. So, what can you do next? I would love it, even if you've never done something like this, but especially if you've never done planning for emergency, that you go to our readyrating.org to become a member. It's free. Complete the assessment, 15, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes if you're a larger organization, and take a really good look at the next steps report to figure out which one of those goals you'd want to accomplish in the next quarter, in the next 6 months. And this will, in fact, help you to protect your investment, your staff, and help the community, our small island community. So I'm going to open now for any questions or comments. I don't know if anyone has put anything in the chat because I'm not able to see that. So I'm requesting a little help. Are there any questions in the chat, Miss Industrious?
There are any questions? There is a comment stating nice introduction.
Yes, it was. You did an awesome job.
It's good. So we're pretty much a small audience today. No questions. Thank you. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I know that you have recorded this, and I'll provide a PDF copy of the slides that you can share with your team, so that they can get the information. I really hope that they seriously consider joining, because the more resilient that they are, the more resilient our entire community is going to be. And if they have any questions, they can give me a call at the Red Cross. Our new location is between the Buccaneer Mall and Guardian Building, just across the street from Haven site. So drop by, come see us, or call, send an email. Let us know if you have any questions. But thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for always, being here, willing to serve in this capacity. So, that being said, The VI SBDC has so much more in store for you as your small businesses. You can visit our website on www.visbdc.org. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for uploads of our webinars. We encourage you to download the complimentary VI SBDC app from the appropriate app store for your device. And I will go ahead and I want to highlight a few of our upcoming trainings. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can go over to the VISBDC website and navigate.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so this is our website. I want to make mention of our Agriculture Business Center. Their target population is farmers and fishers. So you can always tap here to get resources, schedule an appointment, see what events they have coming up. So I'm going to go back to the SBDC website and I want to focus on events that are coming. So what we would do is go to training, select events, and this would be where you would find the subject areas that we focus in. And I want to make mention today is the last day. The SBA had a pitch competition for small business owners to basically be eligible for a chance to win a share in $1 million cash prize for their business venture. So the deadline is today. You can go ahead here, and this is a clickable picture and see the requirements and submit your pitch if you're always ready to go and you're prepared and see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead to the SBDC registration portal. And so today's live event will be converted into an on-demand format that you can access at a later time. So what you would do is you would pay attention to the type of event, select on demand, make sure center says all, when you search, the pre-recorded event will appear here for technically 2 weeks before it goes to our YouTube channel. But let's focus on what's to come. So coming up on June 11th, which is tomorrow, we have our VBOC Outreach Specialist, Juan Morero. He is presenting on understanding markets and your competitive space. That webinar starts at on June 16th. We have our Live Oak Bank VP, and he's going to be presenting on bridging the capital gap, how USVI small businesses can fast track growth with Live Oak Bank and SBA loans. On June 17th, we have Ms. Maxine Fredericks with our Business Resiliency webinar series. And the session she will be focusing on will be future-proofing your workforce, recoup talent, reduce turnover, and sustain growth. That webinar starts at 11 a.m. VBOC returns on June 18th on Thursday, that's at 10 a.m. And they're going to be focusing on the economics of small business startup. And then we return to the continuation of our business resiliency webinar series. Ms. Maxine Fredericks, she's going to focus in on navigating the unexpected, the business resiliency and survival experience. On June 24th, VI SBDC advisor Liza Margolis is going to focus on digital marketing 101, boost your business visibility on a budget. On June 25th, VBOC returns with an introduction to business planning. Our webinar starts at 10 a.m. And then to close off June, we have Landley Shazar, and he is going to be focusing on fire yourself as CEO, how to stop firefighting and start future building. And that webinar will start at 11 a.m. So we encourage you to go ahead to the portal, get registered in advance, and we hope to see you at those events. So thank you so much, Mary Jo, for complimenting the website. I was just checking to see if we have any additional comments or questions. I don't see any more. So, Ms. Patricia Swan, it's always a pleasure collaborating with your team on initiatives as such. Thank you for your time today. And to everyone in the audience, compliments of the entire VI SBDC network by way of our State Director, Ms. Karen Jones. We thank you for your time and attendance today, and we wish you a productive rest of the day. Bye, everyone.